Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we have a pretty unfortunate circumstance that I want to talk about here. So, I make a video every once in a while kind of complaining about something that happens on YouTube, but this is definitely one of the more egregious, ridiculous things I've ever seen happen to a creator on this website. And it really all kind of comes down to a very major anime publishing company called Toei Animation. And of course, YouTube's inability to really step in and do anything about the problem, which obviously, it's not like that's anything brand new by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, believe it or not, YouTube has done literally nothing about this situation, is not really doing enough to really address what happened, not doing enough to fix it either. So today we'll be talking about a YouTuber by the name of Totally Not Mark. You probably, if at least you're in the anime community on YouTube and whatnot, you probably know who Totally Not Mark is because he's one of the large anime creators, at least that I know of here. He covers a lot of different anime-related topics. Just in the last few months alone, he's done reviews of shows such as Naruto, Berserk, Hunter x Hunter, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I think is what it's called, Attack on Titan, all kinds of different shows, right? So he's pretty well known and well respected in the anime community for his opinions and for the content that he makes. Honestly, I've watched a few of his videos, and I gotta say, some of them are just really goddamn good. In particular, I was a fan of his review on the Dragon Ball series because, if you guys didn't know, I'm actually a massive Dragon Ball fan. It is my favorite anime. I am kind of a casual with anime, I will admit. I've only watched a handful of them, but I love Dragon Ball. It's a phenomenal show, in my opinion. I love the entire series. And unfortunately, with Dragon Ball especially, and a few other anime, Toei Animation, they are the parent company for those anime, is the best way to put that. And they've actually been known for quite egregious abuse of the copyright system in the past. Multiple Dragon Ball creators that I remember actually have dealt with these similar issues, I guess, out of Toei Animation with the YouTube copyright system, but this is probably the most egregious situation I've ever seen regarding it. And it's gotten so bad that Totally Not Mark's entire career basically is threatened on YouTube because of, honestly, inaction. On December 7th, 2021, aka yesterday, for those of you watching in the future, Totally Not Mark put up a video called Over 150 Videos Gone, my response to Toei Animation and YouTube. This now has nearly 500,000 views, is over 100,000 likes, and is spreading like wildfire on social media. This is one of the most requested topics, personally, for me to talk about pretty much of the year. I mean, within, 12 hours of this video being shared, I've gotten requests sent to my email account for this, and I've seen it on Twitter. It's something you guys have wanted to hear me talk about, and obviously, now that I now understand the full context of the situation, I am more than happy to talk about this. So, real quick before we start getting into the video, if you don't understand how the YouTube copyright system works, essentially, let's say you upload what is supposed to be copyrighted material, it can be matched against YouTube's Content ID system, which automatically scans video for copyrighted material. And if it's matched or if it's manually checked by a company that owns the rights to that, basically you get a little bit of a copyright issue. And there's a couple different ways you can handle this. Number one, you can accept the copyright claim that's been made on the video and just deal with it, which a lot of the time, unfortunately, you kind of have to. Or, more importantly, you can appeal these. Now, when you appeal these, you're essentially at that point making a notion saying that you are willing to go to court, like you believe within all legal rights that you own the rights to this content, or you believe it was in fair use. Now, fair use is going to be important because this is very massive to this situation. Essentially, Totally Not Mark in his reviews will use clips and images and scenes and whatnot from these different anime and manga, and what that does, obviously, is it provides a spot for, well, in this instance, unfortunately, Toei Animation to target his videos, which over 150 of them were claimed. Now, when you appeal this process, there's a couple weeks that the people who made the claim have to, prove or whatever, or realistically, they get to decide whether or not you committed copyright infringement, and if you lose the appeal, I believe you get a copyright strike, and if you get enough of these, your channel can be terminated. Obviously, 150 is well over that threshold, and this provides a very, very weird and scary spot for Totally Not Mark's channel.
2 nights ago, I received an email notifying me that 15 of my videos had been copyright claimed and blocked by Toei Animation. 1 hour later, that number rose to 28, and when I woke up this morning, it had reached a total of 150 videos that my audience now can no longer see and that I cannot monetize. To put that into perspective, because myself and my team work on a single video per week, that equates to almost 3 years worth of work, and as a result, the main source of my company's income is now gone. I find this particularly devastating because I have a family to provide for, I have full-time employees to look after, and on top of everything else, it's Christmas.
Alright, so first I want to kind of preface everything here by saying I can't imagine my entire business being basically threatened right around Christmas time when, you have to provide gifts and whatnot for your family, and you have all these employees that also need to provide for their families. This is quite possibly the worst timing that can possibly come down to it, when, like, your channel's being threatened, your livelihood's being threatened. And honestly, I think that level of disappointment that arises from that should be felt by pretty much nobody. You should never have to deal with something like that, man. That sucks, and honestly, it makes me feel for this situation a lot more, but let's continue.
YouTube shouldn't have different rules, and yet Stephen Colbert can produce a video last weekend that includes 100% more toy animation footage than some of the videos that were claimed by Toei from me, all without adhering to the fair use policy and getting shared to millions of people across the world. While Toei take it upon themselves to willfully ignore that and personally nuke my entire channel that actively succeeds in being transformative, eliminating years of hard work in the process. This isn't right. I'm not just one guy in his bedroom. I am the head of a small business that employs some of the hardest working individuals I know. People I am proud to employ. People that have families and dependents that they need to provide for this Christmas.
So, in this right here, he's basically making the point that if you're one of these like massive talk show hosts or like, you work in the television industry, you can pretty much post whatever you want to YouTube. And this has actually been quite a common complaint from YouTubers for years now. And obviously, a big reason that YouTube is much more willing to, protect those kind of creators is, number one, they never really have to worry about them not being brand safe or whatever. They can basically use them to make money at any point. Number two, they already have a lot of recognition from being famous on TV and whatnot. And three, well, these companies also don't want to have to deal with that company, right? Because, if you're basically suing a talk show host or something, you basically are at that point suing the company they work for too, and in a lot of cases, who is that? I don't even know. NBC, Fox, CBS, like, they don't want to deal with these guys as lawyers. These talk show hosts are insulated by that. They get that protection because the legal issues will be handled, by super high up paid professional lawyers that are going to get that case dismissed. Meanwhile, Totally Not Mark is running a legitimate business, doing the same thing, honestly doing a more effective job at it, because like he says, he's absolutely more transformative than these, bullshit show hosts and whatnot, but it doesn't matter because, it's 1 or 3 or 5 people or whatever that work for this business. They don't have a super reputable lawyer or whatever here, and they can't really deal with that issue as hard, so that is this sad reality of being a YouTuber sometimes, is you can just be bullied by these big fucking companies because you really can't do anything. You can't afford to deal with the litigation and the lawsuit and everything that it can cause for your channel. If you mess up the way you step here in this current situation, Totally Not Mark, in his shoes here, could literally lose his channel and his income and his business. And that is absolutely fucking absurd. But let's continue because he makes a lot of really great points that I really want to kind of focus in on here. Alright, so it would take about 37 years to individually go through and clear up all of these copyright claims made by Toei Animation, which essentially has put Totally Not Mark's channel in complete jeopardy, because obviously if a few of these appeals fail, which keep in mind, the appeal is essentially Toei Animation deciding whether or not they're right. So if he does go through and start claiming and appealing all these, there's a pretty good chance that they either, they gotta wait 2 weeks or whatever the process is to allow that strike to expire, or he basically has to hope that Toei decides they're wrong 148 times or something like that to avoid enough copyright strikes to completely destroy his channel. Which, let's be fucking honest, what are the odds of that happening? The fact of the matter is, it should not take you 37 years to be able to handle something like this on YouTube. When you run a business like Totally Not Mark does, or like I do, or like a lot of your other favorite creators do, we don't have 37 years to wait. If our income disappears today, which in this case for Totally Not Mark, that is a pretty good chunk of the content available on that channel, that literally can destroy everything, okay? These people have mortgages to pay, they have bills to pay, they have families to feed. They can't wait 37 years for YouTube's broken copyright system to finally get them justice. It's insane to me to think that, like, it almost would take you 40 years to clear 150 video issues up on YouTube, and no one sees a problem with that? No one at YouTube thinks that's a fucking issue?
Of the 150 videos that were claimed and blocked worldwide, 9 of them are drawing videos. Some of these took countless hours of work across numerous days to finish, and here's the kicker, they didn't use any, and I repeat, any footage from Toei. And even if they had, they're still, by their very nature, transformative.
So the fact of the matter is that Toei Animation went out of their way to claim content that they didn't even own the rights to, which I mean, I'm a lawyer, obviously, but that should be against the law. I mean, because when you look at the circumstances of this, 9 of those strikes is enough to destroy this guy's channel. Let's break the logic down. If they only claimed those 9 drawing videos that they owned no content in, might I add, it wasn't even just fair use policy, it was the fact of the matter he didn't even use their animation or anything. It was just simply drawing. So that enough is right there. That could destroy this guy's channel, okay? If 9 of those strongs went wrong on that, that's enough right there. Toei is essentially holding enough content over this guy's head that they don't even own the rights to, that they could take his whole livelihood away. This is not about any morality issue here, okay? Toei, they're not making a morality issue. Number 1, they're attacking a small business. Number 2, they're doing so fraudulently and uncredibly. Like, it's so ridiculous to think that you can draw in 9 YouTube videos and that can be enough to have your channel taken down. Just because Toei Animation simply doesn't like you, or they don't like the fact you put Dragon Ball in the title or whatever it may be. And unfortunately, Toei Animation's crazy, ridiculous copyright policies when it comes to YouTube has forced me personally into changing my content. So, a little bit of a personal story. I used to have an outro here on the channel that played an instrumental that I made, and it's actually the same song that's in my outro now because I made that remix, but it featured Dragon Ball characters. That was the outro, like, panel. It was basically just images of Dragon Ball characters going Super Saiyan or going through transformations. Looked really cool, and people loved it. I've ever since got rid of these, I guess, outros. I've gotten so many requests to bring them back, and the reason I can't bring them back is because of shit like this. Toei Animation is so ridiculous with their copyright policies. They'll abuse the copyright system on YouTube, and I couldn't risk having my channel taken down because I was using Dragon Ball images in the outro of my video for every goddamn video. 20 seconds, even if. You know, it's not fair use enough, but I put my own song over it, I put effects on it for 20 seconds of the, 12-minute video. That's not fair use enough for Toei. Toei Animation doesn't care about fair use. If they did, Totally Not Mark would not be having the issues that they're having over there at their channel, because this just wouldn't be happening.
And so, effectively, if Dragon Ball was in the title, it was removed. They clearly didn't watch any of these videos, and I know this because they took down over 50 hours worth of content in a few hours, oftentimes only seconds apart. And the irony of this is, Toei actually approached me themselves earlier this year to help them promote a series of concerts they were looking to hold across the Americas.
So yeah, obviously, Toei Animation could not have went through and watched all that content. They claimed hours worth of content within just a few minutes, and I mean, mathematically, it was impossible for them to review all of this during these claims and prove that anything was really done wrong. So, in its very nature, Toei has stepped all the way out of its way to make fraudulent claims against this guy's channel, and is potentially destroying a small business for promoting their content, promoting their animations and their shows. It's confusing to me, but it just doesn't even logically make sense. Like, I make gameplay commentaries. Imagine if Activision and, EA and all these other gaming companies that own the rights to the games that I show in the background of my videos, imagine if they all started randomly claiming all these videos on YouTube, showing footage of their game, right? People would be stunned. Like, that would be the most insane thing ever. And you want to know why that is? Because YouTube is one of the best ways to promote your product now. Let's be real, they can put Dragon Ball commercials on television, they can put Dragon Ball posters in the stores, but the communities aren't rocking with that type of shit like they're rocking with the YouTubers that make content about these things. When you get, like, let's say I made a game tomorrow, okay, and I made this video game. If 100 people play that on YouTube and that ends up 1 million views across all of these videos, that is 1 million eyes, brand new, fresh, onto my product. And what did I have to do in order to get that promotion, that 1 million eyes on me? Literally put the product out and let people enjoy it. What Dragon Ball as a company in Toei and whatnot doesn't understand is that the YouTube community here that they're attacking repeatedly with these ridiculous copyright attacks against channels, that is the same community that has single-handedly helped kept, I guess, the Dragon Ball name alive. I mean, Dragon Ball went so many years without a new series, right? Without any new really great content, and the internet helped keep Dragon Ball alive. The popularity of Dragon Ball can not majorly be interpreted by the internet or attributed to the internet, but there is a fundamental part of the Dragon Ball community that lives on YouTube and makes videos and podcasts and talks about it, and, you know, gives their opinions about the new, manga chapters and stuff like that. For instance, as a Dragon Ball fan, when, you know, new stuff was developing in the Dragon Ball community, I oftentimes would go to YouTube to watch these types of videos so that I could catch up on and learn new things about a series that I really love. And it's pretty sad to me that people in this community aren't even allowed to express their interest because the company they're benefiting is so rough against them. I mean, come on. And this is what cracks me up about the argument that, oh, YouTubers aren't fundamental to, like, advertising and whatnot now. I mean, if you have a product, and, like, Toei Animation just basically admitted by trying to get this guy to promote their concerts, you want these social media influencers on your side because they really help sell products. They really help you move tickets, they help you move merchandise, and it's something that every company now is starting to really wake up to. You think companies like Mountain Dew and Doritos and Red Bull and all these different companies are just sponsoring people who play video games for no reason? There's a reason why companies are investing in influencers and influencer marketing, because not only is it super effective and cost efficient, it's much easier to directly target the people you want. These types of channels provide advertising for the Dragon Ball and realistically all of the Toei Animation series. I mean, you can see the video clips of this guy. He has what I can only assume to be thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars worth of, you know, the mangas and merchandise behind him. He has full collections. He has One Piece. I mean, literally all of the One Piece that I can see right there. I don't know if that's literally the whole series and manga, but, you know, he's got all these Naruto, he's got these Dragon Ball, like, he's definitely a fan. This guy is not just capitalizing on it for the sake of capitalizing. This guy loves these franchises, he loves anime, and for these companies to target people like this is absurd. And YouTube does absolutely nothing about it. You know, YouTube watches this kind of shit happen and just plugs their ears. Because obviously it's easier to ignore an issue than to fix one. And so, who knows what the best step of, you know, the next step, I guess, the best course of action is for this entire situation, because, well, in Mark's situation, he's got 37 years of copyright to go through, basically, if he wants to do it legit, or, you know, Toei has his whole channel basically in their grasp now, and YouTube isn't stepping in to help. I've seen on Twitter a bunch of other creators have tried to, like, get their partner managers at YouTube involved, and it appears that YouTube's kind of just stepping away with their hands up, so I'm not totally sure what the next step is, but I do want to go ahead and shout out Totally Not Mark's Patreon. I think the best way to support a fellow creator is to get his other sources and means of revenue out there. Totally Not Mark does obviously put a lot of work and passion into his content. And for the sake of his business, his employees, and his passion, I think it's only best that, you know, if you have a spare dollar or two, if you're a fan of Totally Not Mark, you're a fan of anime content, you know, go give his videos a watch that are still up. Maybe leave a tweet for YouTube, or, I mean, they're not really working right now, but, I mean, if more people complain, who knows what could really happen. You know, write an email or something to Toei Animation and demand that they stop with the copyright abuse and the hatred that they're basically creating for their content by acting the way they do towards YouTubers. So, with all that being said though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, defending Totally Not Mark, and signing out.